Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. American Air Power represents a continuous, real-world technological and strategic evolution rather than a fictional story. Beginning in the early 20th century, when the United States first recognized aviation as a military tool after the Wright brothers demonstrated controlled flight, leading the U.S. Army to adopt primitive aircraft primarily for reconnaissance, training, and artillery spotting, with early designs made of wood, fabric, and wire that were slow, unreliable, and limited in range, yet valuable because they introduced commanders to the strategic advantage of controlling the air, a realization that accelerated during World War I when the United States rapidly expanded aircraft production and pilot training programs after entering the conflict, integrating fighters, bombers, and observation aircraft into formal military doctrine. Learning aerial combat tactics from European allies while developing domestic designs that emphasized engine reliability, weapon mounting, and basic survivability, followed by the interwar period, which became a critical phase of experimentation and engineering advancement as American designers transitioned from biplanes to monoplanes, adopted all-metal airframes, retractable landing gear, and more powerful piston engines, while military planners debated the future role of air power, increasingly viewing it as an independent force capable of shaping wars rather than merely supporting ground troops, ideas that were fully tested during World War II when American air power transformed into an industrial-scale system unmatched in history, producing tens of thousands of aircraft across multiple categories including fighters, bombers, transports, trainers, and naval aircraft, allowing the United States to project air dominance across Europe and the Pacific, where long-range fighters such as the P-51 Mustang enabled deep-penetration bomber escort missions. Heavy bombers like the B-17 Flying Fortress and B-24 Liberator formed the backbone of strategic bombing campaigns aimed at crippling enemy industry and logistics. And carrier-based aircraft demonstrated that naval power was now inseparable from air power, as aircraft carriers replaced battleships as the primary instruments of sea control, while transport aircraft established global logistics networks that allowed rapid movement of troops and supplies, proving that air power was not only about destruction, but also about mobility and sustainment, a lesson that shaped post-war strategy as the United States emerged as a global power and immediately entered the jet age, recognizing that propeller-driven aircraft had reached their performance limits, prompting massive investment in jet propulsion, which delivered unprecedented speed, altitude, and climb performance, fundamentally changing interception, air defense, and fighter combat. Even though early jet aircraft faced challenges such as limited range, high fuel consumption, and maintenance complexity, issues that were gradually solved through improved aerodynamics, engine efficiency, and airframe design, setting the stage for the Cold War where American air power became central to nuclear deterrence and global presence. With strategic bombers like the B-52 Stratofortress, designed to fly intercontinental distances carrying nuclear weapons, remaining in service for decades due to their adaptability, payload capacity, and continual upgrades, while fighter aircraft evolved from gun-armed interceptors into sophisticated platforms equipped with radar, guided missiles, electronic countermeasures, and data links, shifting air combat from close-range dogfighting to beyond visual range engagements, where information dominance became as important as maneuverability, alongside the development of dedicated reconnaissance and surveillance aircraft that gathered intelligence across borders and oceans without engaging in direct combat, reinforcing the idea that information itself was a decisive weapon, concepts that were harshly tested during the Vietnam War when American aircraft faced dense air defenses. Radar-guided surface-to-air missiles, and agile enemy fighters, revealing vulnerabilities in existing tactics and technology, enforcing rapid innovation in electronic warfare, suppression of enemy air defenses, and pilot training, while also highlighting the importance of close air support missions that required aircraft capable of surviving heavy ground fire, operating at low altitude, and delivering precise firepower in direct support of troops, leading to the continued development and refinement of specialized attack aircraft and gunships. During the same period, helicopters emerged as a transformative element of American air power, providing vertical lift that revolutionized troop transport, medical evacuation, logistics, and battlefield mobility, enabling rapid insertion and extraction of forces in environments where runways were unavailable, and becoming indispensable across conventional and unconventional conflicts. As the Cold War progressed, American air power entered a new phase defined by stealth technology, driven by the growing effectiveness of radar and integrated air defense systems, leading engineers to focus on reducing aircraft detectability through shaping, materials, and mission planning, rather than relying solely on speed or altitude, resulting in stealth aircraft that could penetrate heavily defended airspace with reduced risk, fundamentally altering air campaign planning and execution. A shift dramatically demonstrated during the Gulf War when American-led forces achieved overwhelming air dominance through the coordinated use of stealth aircraft, precision-guided munitions, electronic warfare, and real-time intelligence, allowing critical targets to be struck with unprecedented accuracy while minimizing losses, reinforcing the belief that air power could rapidly shape the outcome of conflicts. A belief that continued into the post-Cold War era as American air power adapted to new types of warfare involving counterinsurgency, regional conflicts, and asymmetric threats, where persistent surveillance, precision strikes, and rapid response became priorities, driving the expanded use of unmanned aerial vehicles that provided long-endurance reconnaissance and strike capabilities without risking pilot lives, while also changing command structures, ethical debates, and operational planning. As aircraft increasingly became nodes within network-centric warfare systems rather than independent platforms, sharing data across air, land, sea, space, and cyber domains, enabling faster decision-making and coordinated action, culminating in the development of fifth-generation fighter aircraft that integrate stealth, advanced sensors, sensor fusion, electronic warfare, and multi-role flexibility into a single platform designed to dominate contested environments from the opening moments of a conflict. While modern bombers continue to evolve with a focus on survivability, adaptability, and long-range precision, supported by tanker and transport fleets that maintain America's ability to project power globally on short notice, alongside training aircraft that quietly ensure the next generation of pilots can operate increasingly complex systems. Experimental aircraft that test new materials, propulsion concepts, and autonomous technologies, and support aircraft that handle command, control, intelligence, refueling, and rescue missions, demonstrating that American air power is not defined by individual aircraft alone, but by an interconnected ecosystem that has continuously adapted to technological change, strategic necessity, and operational experience, showing that from the earliest fragile biplanes to today's stealthy network platforms, the evolution of every U.S. aircraft ever built reflects real-world demands rather than narrative storytelling, grounded in engineering progress, combat lessons, industrial capacity, and strategic doctrine. And as emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, autonomy, hypersonic flight, advanced propulsion, and space integration continue to develop, American air power remains a dynamic, evolving force focused on maintaining speed, reach, flexibility, and dominance in an increasingly complex global security environment, ensuring that the evolution of U.S. aircraft is an ongoing process shaped by reality, necessity, and continuous innovation, rather than fiction.